a true Christian produces fruit. If you want to know anything about a true Christian, and remember and remember it from Jesus, is that a true Christian is known by their what?
Fruits.
Yes, by their fruit. You can remember just that. Yes, there's more to a true Christian. You're going to now know what is this fruit. But if you want to summarize it and you want to take Jesus by his word, is that a true Christian is known by his fruit. We've heard that before. By their fruit you shall know them. And we look in John 15, if you read John chapter 15, you will see how Jesus himself teaches that when we abide in him, we will bear good fruit, and that will bring glory to God because he will show us as his disciples. There, Jesus is almost saying that if you don't yield good fruit, you're not my disciple. A true Christian is recognized by their fruit. Okay, there's an S here, but the idea is the fruit. It doesn't have to be, the S doesn't have to be there, but a good Christian, a true Christian is recognized by their fruit. Jesus is a teacher who's both profound and simple. You want to know what a true Christian is? Their fruit. You want to know what a good sermon is like? Look at the fruit. When you go from basics like that, now you can know, okay, what is the fruit? If you don't start from above and look and know, okay, I'm in a forest, a large forest, and then you zoom in to know that, okay, I'm in this tree. It's very difficult if you just jump right there and start looking too detailed to understand everything else. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Good. You need to have an overview perspective, and then you narrow in. So watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit, you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by their fruit, you will recognize them. You see them. You see here at the beginning, Jesus seems to say, let's look here first, right? The first phrase, watch out for false prophets. Okay? So this is something that he's not suggesting. He's commanding and saying, watch out for false prophets. You need to watch out. Okay? Now, so this is not a suggestion. You may watch out for false prophets, if you like. He's saying, watch out for false prophets because it is going to be dangerous. And there are false prophets everywhere. You need to watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. How do you recognize them? By their fruit, you will recognize them. You recognize them by the fruit. And he closes here, thus by their fruit, you will recognize them. Just to look a little bit at this passage, Jesus says, do people pick grapes from thorn bushes? Where do we usually pick grapes from? We pick grapes from vineyards, yes. From grapevines, from vineyards. Okay, good. Where do we pick figs from? From fig trees, right? Good. Jesus is telling you, you will not be able to see bad fruit on a good tree, and vice versa. Okay. Likewise, every good tree. Does Jesus say here that some good trees bear good fruit? No, it doesn't, right? He says every good tree bears good fruit. This is a law. Okay, if you're looking for a law, this is a law Jesus is setting that every single one of them, every good tree bears good fruit. But a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot, if you didn't get it the first time, a good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. If you think a bad tree is bearing good fruit, the problem is that you're not discerning enough to see the fakeness of the fruit. But Satan and his angels are always masquerading as angels of what? Light. Yes, Paul talked about that. That Satan's angels are always masquerading as angels of light. So this is important. Let's keep going. Not everyone we saw this passage before, but it's important to look at it here again. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father. That's important. The one who does the will of my Father is the one who's going to enter. And many of you will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and in your name drive out demons and in your name perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. Okay, let's keep going. So a question I want to ask you is, does this mean that we can always know who is a true Christian? You guys, somebody, I want, let's start with Ben. This one. Having gone through this, does this mean we can always know this question?
I don't think that we personally can always know, because I think the fruit is definitely fruit of the heart, and there are definitely inside things that we cannot always necessarily discern about somebody. I think we can get a general idea, but I don't think we could necessarily discern in every single case whether someone is a true Christian or not.
Okay, that's very good. But and it depends on how good the discerner is. If the discerner is a basic, it's a new, it's an entry level discerner, he might miss a lot of things. But if this discerner is advanced, or if it's a perfect discerner like Jesus, Jesus could tell people, he could look at people and he would tell them what they're thinking. So do we agree that Jesus would be able to tell every single one that is saved and who's not saved? Yeah, because why? Because he could see, he could discern perfectly. So it's a matter of discerning the fruit, but we are limited at our ability to tell if somebody is a believer. In some cases, not because it's not possible or that we couldn't, it's just that we are not there. We're not as discerning. Okay, good.